Hi, I'm Dr. Carolina Jimenez, licensed psychologist. I work in Texas and can offer telehealth or online services to any person residing within Texas. I am a specialist in immigration evaluations. I work with asylum cases, U visas, survivors of violence, and asylum. Today I want to talk to you about domestic violence cases. Under VAWA, or the Violence Against Women Act, many people could qualify for legal status without depending on an intimate partner who could be abusive. Very important to know that this also applies to men. The name can be a little bit misleading, violence against women, but it applies to men as well. So what this act does is it gives people an avenue to legalize their status without having to be coerced, controlled, and abused by an intimate partner. There's 5 different types of domestic violence. So the State Department defines violence as any act used to manipulate, hurt, coerce, or cause harm to any intimate partner. So it's very important to know that there's a power differential, that one person is being abusive and controlling the other one. If both people were being abusive, then it's an unhealthy relationship, but it's always one person who has more control over the other. So the 5 different cases include physical violence, and that could be hitting, slapping, scratching, pushing against the wall, pushing against the floor, anything that could harm physically, slapping, pulling hair, things like that. There's also sexual abuse, which includes forcing people to have sex against their will, or forcing them to have sexual acts which they're uncomfortable with or that they feel humiliated or embarrassed by. Oftentimes immigrants will hear things said like, "It's my right, I'm your husband or I'm your wife, you have to have sex with me." It's not true. People have the right to say no, otherwise it's marital rape. We also have emotional abuse, and that includes hurting the person with words, profanity, making them have lower self-esteem, having harsh words directed at them. You can't do anything right, you're good for nothing, you're a piece of trash, and even worse, insults. And it's not just on a daily basis, anything that could cause the person to have low self-confidence and low self-esteem. We also have psychological abuse. So that includes using the immigrant's immigration status against their will to force them to do things they don't want. For example, saying, "If you don't do what I say, I will not help you legalize your status, I will call immigration on you, no one is going to believe you because you're an immigrant." Also prohibiting the person from working, going to school, having relationships with friends and families, alienating the person socially so they have less social support. And the last one is economic abuse. So this abuse includes limiting access to finances, not allowing the person to work or to buy food. Could also include denying them medical care when they need it. So basically it's different forms of abuse, not just sexual or physical, which is what comes to mind when people think of domestic violence. It's any act against an intimate partner. And again, it can include homosexual, heterosexual relationships. It's not just one-sided. So it could be men or women, survivors of violence. For more information about abuse, you can visit the Houston Area Women's Center. And what I do working with this type of cases is I will meet with an immigrant who's also the survivor of domestic violence to talk about how the violence has affected them, how it has impacted their physical, emotional, and psychological health, their mental health. We talked about what type of abuse happened, how, when, and any consequences of that abuse. So I will write a comprehensive exam or report for them that's used as part of their evidence for their case. So the point is to collect evidence about the psychological harm that the person suffered at the hands of their intimate partner. For more information about my services, follow me on my internet page, jimenezcounseling.com, on Facebook as Jimenez Counseling, on Instagram as Dr. Carolina Jimenez, and I will be posting more resources for you under this description of this video. Thank you, and talk to you soon.